Alright, so over the summer we went to Washington, D.C. on SURF from July 11th to July 18th. And this was about our third mission trip with our youth group, so we're getting to know what to do very well. So it was a very long drive. We got there around, I think it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we got in our small groups, and we had our first worship ceremony that night. And for the first time, everyone was all new, and they were all in their groups from who they came up with. And our third group was very outgoing, and we wanted to try something new. So we all decided that we'd go to the front and link arms and start swaying. And after the first night, everyone started to do that. Everyone came up, and we had different people from different groups all mixing in and stuff like that. So over the course of that week, we went to different sites, and a lot of the sites we went to were soup kitchens. We went to the poverty center, and we actually went and handed out water bottles to the homeless. And in one of the sermons that night before we were handing out water bottles, our sermon talked about soups and how these soups think about themselves and they only want to do what's best for them. And I really, I didn't think much about it. I actually thought soups were pretty nice people. And some are. And when we went to hand out some water bottles, we brought donuts and coffee. And all these people, business people, were coming off these buses because they were all going to conferences. And so they had signs, and they were all meeting up with each other. And never once did they stop and talk to the homeless people and say hello or even ask. But the fact that really got me was that they came over to our booth and asked if these donuts and coffee were for them. And that really made my leader a little bit angry. And so as we started to hand out these donuts and coffee, all they did was just look at us. They didn't say anything. They just looked, and they kept back to their day. They got back on the bus like nothing even happened. And so later that night, we went to our sermon, our minister, and we told him about what happened. And we were really in awe. The whole group was in awe because we couldn't believe that these people that have that are high end can't even care for these people that have nothing. And it wasn't even to give them food or anything, because we met 3 of them: Jean, Lucius, and Pam. And I got to sit down with them and actually have conversations about them and talk to them and be their friends. And they actually started to cry. Lucius was 30. He was 18 when he became homeless, and he was now 35. Living on the streets, and he's actually crying when I handed him his donut and his muffin, not because of what I was doing, because I took the time of my day to sit down, ask him how he's doing, and actually be a friend to him. And so we said our goodbyes to Pam, Lucius, and Jean, and we headed back on our way to our different missions for the next couple of days. And on our last day, we were supposed to go to a different park to hand out some water bottles and donuts again. And we got to that park and no one was there. So my leader, he didn't tell us what was going on, but he felt God telling us to go back to that park where we went the first day. And all that week, all I could talk about was Lucius and Pam and how I had to go and see them again. Our group really wanted to. And so we got back to that park, and I couldn't find any of them. And we were worried that we thought they were gone somewhere. But they're actually curled up in balls in their shirts that they wore the same day I met them. And we gave them their food and their coffee. And I said to Lucius, I'm like, Lucius, is that you? Lucius. And he peeks his head out of his shirt because he's shivering, he's so cold. And he just starts crying. He's like, you guys came back. And so it was incredible. So when we came back, Pam actually came around us and she started to pray for us. And it was such a God moment to see that in one time just meeting her, that we impacted her life so much. And then as she started to pray for us, I felt this God moment that we should go and pray for Lucius, Pam, and Jean too. So I got my group together and I said, guys, let's go pray for them. I feel like should. And my group had no idea what to say. They didn't talk. They were nervous. And so I was like, I know what to say. I can do it. And so I gathered my group around us, and we put our hands on Lucius and Pam and Jean separately. We all prayed for them. And I started to pray these words that I didn't think I could say, but they're just God's words coming out of my mouth. And my dad actually came up to us, and he actually was crying. He's like, I can't believe this. He's like, this is my God moment. Seeing you guys interact and pray for these people is incredible. So that's how my week went.
Wonderful.
Okay, so my week was very different than hers. We went to the soup kitchen, and my role was to make sure that all the families were in the one area and then the men were in the other area, and which was good. I got to interact with them a little bit. And then we went to St. Catherine's. And St. Catherine's building was for families to go to. And so what our job was to do was to look after the kids while they had tours around to go and get rooms and stuff. And so there's about 6 kids, 3 girls and 3 boys. And they're 2 to 8 years old. And we got to interact with them a lot. They loved playing with little water guns. We had to take them away. They were going bang, bang, thinking that they were real guns. So we took those away, and then they started playing with bubbles. And we had to keep playing that for about 2 hours because they just loved popping them. We played hide and seek with them, and then we came back in, and then they brought in 2 more kids. And this family just became homeless and just found out that there's a place for St. Catherine's. And so these 2 little kids were very shy, didn't want to talk to anyone, but they warmed up to me, which was really nice. And then we also went to the poverty walk, and my group, they just hand out water bottles and then they'd walk away. And then so I handed out the 1 water bottle, and then he told me about his story and how he was with his dad, and they were farmers, and his dad died, and then he just didn't know what to do, and then that's why he became homeless. And he said to us, he's just like, I'm so happy. I wish that the government would do more than what they are doing about the poverty. And so it was really good to have conversations with the homeless people. And then so we'd come home, we'd have our small groups, and our small group was really shy, didn't really talk. I was doing all the talking with my leader. And by the end of the week, we opened up, and it was just amazing to hear different stories from our group members. And we were all from Ontario, except for our leader was from Michigan. But overall, it was a great experience. We all got along, made lots of friendships.